How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to episode 8 of the Board Report. As usual, we've got a fantastic episode for you. Today, we're going to be interviewing Mr. Little, our principal, or retiring principal. He's going to be missed, but yeah, we're going to get to have a little in-depth talk with him. Not many people know this, but he was in choir in high school, so he's a lot like me and Jeff. And you guys, music students, you know how it is. But yeah, we'll get right on into it. Jeff's got a CD of the day for us. Hit us with it, Jeff.
Yeah. Today, the CD of the day is The Jesse Volume 1, coming back with you with Jacob Collier. Jacob Collier, with his album, really went above and beyond. He played it with an orchestra, and it was very, very awesome. It had his elements of pop and classical music, and it's just all over the place. It's almost like he kind of puts you through this whole entire journey throughout the entire album. Starting off, with Home Is, where it's just all vocal, chorus kind of stuff, and then going to the Jesse, where it's like a 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2, kind of a waltzy kind of thing. It's really, really nice and really well done. I think if you like Disney songs and are very kind of like Disney oriented, I think this is a good album you should check out. It's very, very nice.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff. I feel like you're breaking a sacred rule there by doing two artists in this one artist
Okay.
1 week, but we'll let that slide,
No, it's just so good, you can't pass it up. Like, it's just that good.
It's that good, yeah. I don't know. I might bust out Modern Baseball again just because Chef's Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
For the movie of the week, I am going to be breaking the rule again. I've got a documentary series. It borders on a mockumentary. It's Round Planet. It's a nature documentary, and the narrator, with a fantastic narrator voice, of course, he is making sarcastic comments through the entirety, and it's a fantastic show. Every time that I watch it, I'm just busting out laughing because it's that good. It's not on Netflix anymore, sadly, but I'm sure you could find it on demand or maybe playing on BBC. But it's a great watch, definitely worth the time.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to community positivity. Nike has donated 30,000 pairs of shoes to healthcare workers, all custom made, specifically designed to help healthcare workers and always walking around from point A to point B to point C, helping out all these patients. So there's the official name of it is called Air Zoom Pulse, which is kind of a cool name. But on the side, it says the word hope, which is kind of really awesome, especially during these kinds of times. And 30,000 pairs of shoes, that's amazing. You know what I mean? Just that's basically all of New York. All of New York.
It's great that brands are stepping up and doing things in these times. But yeah, it's fantastic. On the topic of brands, we're not endorsed by any just yet, but we're hoping for it. We need that college fund money. But yeah, it's all good. Today's national holiday is National Have a Coke Day. Yeah, so have a Coke.
So yeah, go outside, break open a cold one with the boys, and
cold non-alcoholic beverage, please.
Coke. No, Coke. A cold Coke. I feel like cold Coke is always a good, warm weather kind of beverage. You know what I mean? I had this tradition when I went into high school. I'm like, okay, first day of school, I walked home. I stopped at the 7-Eleven by my house, and I grabbed a Coke, and I said, every year, at the start of the year and at the end of the year, I'm going to come here, buy a soda, and just walk home and reminisce. And I've done that every start of the year, every end of the year. But I got to get out there and do that again one more time, just to have it. Oh, yeah.
It's like
so absolutely.
It's the little things,
Absolutely. And it's just, Coke, I don't know about you, but like, let's say you're outside, it's like summer, right? 90 degrees at least. Mm-hmm. And it's just, the Coke just hits just that much different. It just makes a whole world of a difference.
It's a classic. I feel like we're doing a brand right now. We're just shouting them out. I'm begging you. I'm begging you, please. Anyways, yeah. So we've got Mr. Little here, so we're going to jump right on into that. So without further ado, How's it going?
Hey guys, how's it going?
We're doing pretty
Little.
good.
Awesome.
Loving the background there.
You like that?
Yeah. Working at the school today, or what's the deal?
Still here at school. We just finished up with the senior pickup and drop off.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Really quickly today.
good. It went pretty smooth from our end. Hopefully on your end as well. So yeah,
Over here, yeah, for sure.
good.
So we just wanted to talk about a couple things. We've done a little bit of research. We actually found an interview from when you started the school, when you started this job back in 2007, and it was pretty insightful to see you all the way back then too. But yeah,
I looked a little younger probably.
you look the same, you know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's all good. So we were interested to learn that before you taught here, you were over at Hoffman, not too far away, and you were a social studies teacher. Is that right?
Right. That's right.
So in your time teaching social studies, how did that prepare you to be your current job of principal? Because like I don't know, I'm sure Jeff would agree. Most of the social studies teachers I have are like a different breed of teacher. You know.
Yes,
sure.
we are for sure. Well, I think it. I taught American Studies for a lot of years, which was a blast, and had a real good friend that I taught with. He became the principal at Conant. His name was Mr. Cannon, and we taught that course for probably close to 10 years, and we loved it. And there were a lot of things that we were able to do in terms of staff development and things like that that prepared both of us really to be principals. So I would say teaching together, being creative, probably launched our administrative stuff, that kind of thing.
That's great. Are you guys still
Yeah.
friends to this day?
Say that again?
Sorry, are you guys still friends to this day?
Yeah, he moved down to Arizona. He just he texted me today. So we stay in touch pretty close.
That's really awesome. And so, while your time at Hoffman, we know you became a assistant principal while at Hoffman. So, what made you decide? You want to take on such a big, leadership role and like of a major school.
Yeah, I've been really lucky in my career to be able to work with pretty incredible people, and who have taught me so much about this vocation. And I was lucky at Hoffman, and I got even luckier here at Schaumburg because I've worked with some tremendous professionals over the years, and who have been able to cover up a lot of my weaknesses. So it's been pretty cool to work with them. So.
That's awesome.
That's
and
awesome.
so, yeah, that is really cool. So what do you think you learned as a teacher to really kind of prepare you and just prepare you for just such a big role, and like especially during times like these, even though they're really unprecedented and very unusual and uncommon, what kind of prepared you to kind of handle this and kind of take it by the reins? Because so far, I mean, from our perspective and our view, I'm sure Ryan can say the same. It's been really, really efficient, very new, very very good way of handling things so far. And with it being once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's been crazy, hasn't it? I mean, just.
Oh, yeah.
I know I'll speak with the seniors, and the speech I gave was really all about the way in which the class of 2020 handled this, which was pretty incredible. I mean, this class didn't even bat an eye. What an example for the rest of the school, for our community, and I'll speak to that. And I think it's a lot about what the adults do too. I mean, I was told once by my principal, who hired me years ago, and right before I became principal at Schaumburg, he said to me, Tim, what made you a great teacher in the classroom is what's going to make you a great principal. Don't forget that. It all starts with that magic in the classroom with the kids that are in front of you. And I never forgot that. It was great advice then, and it's great advice that I just gave to Mr. Harlan, who's going to be taking over for me. So
Fantastic. It's also a bit of a shame. It's your last year at Schaumburg, and this is the circumstances that it ended. Like Jeff and I, we've put in 4 years, but you've put in a lot more than that. So we do thank you in our time here. I've been able to meet you a couple times, and just you do bring a great, what's the word I'm looking for, perspective to the school. You make it fun. I can give you that.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate that. That's very kind. But you guys, you're going through the same thing, and I don't know if I'd want it to end any other way. Actually, I mean, we all have worked together on some pretty intense projects in your 4 years, and I kind of like the fact that we're going out with a lot of energy and you know, and tackling a different kind of problem, but nonetheless, we're all kind of working together, and that's kind of the way I'd like to go out. So it's unfortunate. I think there's some benefits to it as well. Look at the glass half full, right? So
I love that perspective. Yeah, I haven't thought of it like that way, but I think we should. Yeah.
Yeah.
So switching topics a little bit, we know you grew up in Wisconsin, right?
Yes.
And in your time in your childhood there, you were a part of choir in high school, right?
Yeah.
How was that experience for you in high school? What are some of your memories there?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'm really jealous of Mr. Inandino and Mr. Graffio, Mrs. Espel, and Mrs. Carlson, because they're living my dream. This is a rare thing that people don't know. I think Mr. Inandino knows, but I went to college first as a music major. That's how influential music was to me in high school. But I went in to voice, vocals, but it was my music teacher who was phenomenal guy, phenomenal teacher, and he's the one that really lit that passion in me for teaching. When I washed out of music because I was not very good at it, I ended up going into social studies. So, but I never forgot what he had told me about being passionate about what you teach. He was my example. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is really awesome. And so, with from switching from a music major to a social studies major, how would you say like music has like impacted you within the classroom or when going to your social studies classes?
Yeah. Well, I've always looked at it here, and I inherited, or I guess I came over and learned about all that we do here as a building. That's 13 years ago, when we celebrate the fine arts and the performing arts and arts alive, and which I absolutely love. I know we talk about disciplines here in English and science and mathematics. I mean, that's the brains of the building. I really think our music department is really the soul of our building. And you can have the brains, but you need the soul. And that's where I think our music department is head above everybody else, because they give us that.
Absolutely. And I know with the teachers, not only are they good, teaching us musically and stuff like that, but they also teach us, just be good human beings in general, and like just creating those friendships. And that's what I really appreciate about that program. I'm sure you could say the same thing from choir.
Right. Absolutely.
So we talked a little bit about how academics is the brains of the school, and then music is the soul. I like that quote a lot. What do you think that music students gain that more non-music students don't gain from their time here?
Yeah. When you're sitting there breaking down a really difficult piece, and then you bring it all back together again to perform it, each person having their own role in it. And then when that thing is cooking and that performance is going and you've put it all back together beautifully, that's when that magic occurs. And you're like, wow, this is pretty cool. We did something collectively, something collaboratively together that's pretty darn good. And I don't think you can really do that in any other discipline so much. So that's what I like. That's what I enjoyed about music in high school, for sure. And I miss to this day. Really love that.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And so, your time in choir and all that, what was a piece that, or not even a piece, but just a highlight in your time in choir, whether it be in high school or college, that's something that stood out to you as kind of just either a breathtaking or just a fun, joyous moment?
Well, we were a bunch of farm kids, right? So all of us I came from a small town of about 400 people, right? And I had to travel a couple miles to my high school. And so there are a lot of different communities in this high school, very small. And our choir teacher, his name was Sev. We called him Sev. And we performed a piece called by Bach called Jesu meine Freude. And it was 12 parts. We had no business singing this tune, no business even getting into it. Well, by the end of it, not only did we do all of the major components, but we did it in German. And and that's something I always remember about, being able to accomplish something like that together with a bunch of other knuckleheads, and doing it at a pretty good level. So I really remember doing that the most.
That's awesome. We love that. So in your time here at Schaumburg High School, what has been your favorite memory? And you don't have to say a favorite year because we know it's going to be 2020. But
right, 2020 is the most memorable by far. So yeah, that question has come up a lot this year, and I think I remember the times most where we come together as a school for a cause. And I think whether it's like coming together for St. Baldrick's or coming together at the tragedy at Stoneman Douglas, there are things that are much bigger and much greater than ourselves. And I think when we can put ourselves aside to come together as a community, really to rally for a cause, those are the times that I'll remember the most from my time there. And there have been many, many of those instances. So those I remember. Yep, my favorites.
That's really good. Yeah, the St. Paul.
Although walking out of the school in mass was a little scary at times, but everybody was pretty cool with it. So I have to say that was one of the most memorable times in my time, and it was really nice working with you during that. And it was, I have to say, when we went into that, I was worried, like, oh, he's gonna shut it down, but you helped us out. You helped make sure that it was safe, it was responsible, it was gonna get done properly, no one would get hurt, and I thank you for that, because that. You're welcome. It was that was all you guys. You guys were amazing, and that was all coming from a place of support and help and understanding. That's for sure. Yep.
In your time in college, just going back to the subject of college, with Ryan and I going to college very soon in the coming months. What's some advice you'd give to the current seniors who are going to, either far away or close, just going kind of starting a whole new journey for the next 4 years?
Yeah, I think you're leaving a group of friends that you will always remember and cherish. And I still get together, and this is, how many years later when I graduated, right? But I still get together with kids from high school that I know and have kept in touch with. So that's important to keep those memories and keep those ties. But on the other hand, it's also important to open yourself up, because the world is bigger than Schaumburg High School, and you will make tremendous friends and great people throughout your time in college. And just remember to take time to do that and be open to that, and you'll be all right.
For another one that we were having is, since you were originally planning to go into music school and you were going to stick with that, Jeff and I were going for music, and then we've got a couple other students in the program that are also going for music. What sort of advice would you have for music students that are still in the program at Schaumburg now, and then students who are moving forward?
Yeah, it's all about passion, and perseverance, grit. It is not an easy profession, and but your passion will take you a long, long way. And there are still things that I do today that connect back to my time in music, and things that I appreciated when I was early on in college. Now, it didn't work out professionally for me for music, but the lessons I learned from it, boy, had really been applied to my life, both personally and professionally. So, again, I think most of the advice would be to keep an open mind, and try new things, try to be a little bit different, reach out, stretch yourself a little bit. So that would be my advice in it.
That's really good. And on the topic of characteristics, you mentioned a couple there. What traits and qualities do you think are the most important to how you have a lot to handle with at the school? You've got 2,000 students and a boatload of teachers. What traits are most important to you there?
Well, I think you're if you're in music, your ability to be organized, disciplined, that you are able to listen to a whole piece and break it down into small parts, and if you're a conductor, being able to do that and then kind of bring it back to the people in front of you. So it's the complex piece is a little bit more, it's simpler to digest, And I think as a leader, that's kind of what you have to do. If there's a complex issue out there, your ability to break that down to help people understand the small parts of it, that's something I learned from my time in music for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just kind of talking about you and just your vocals and you playing. We got a tidbit. A little birdie told us you are proficient in the musical saw. Is that?
Who gave you that information?
Director,
Yeah, well, you guys may not know, but there's two kinds of musical saws, right? There's a tenor musical saw, there's a bass musical saw, and you can strike them with a hammer with a felt tip, or you can use a bow with a little rosin. So there's two ways you can play it. I prefer the tenor saw myself, but a lot of people like the bass. But it's all in that S that you get at the end of the saw. It's all there. And they say if you can whistle, you can play the musical saw, right? It's like the kazoo. You're good.
I think that's a new instrument I'm gonna pick up over the summer.
I love it.
Where did that idea come from? What got you into musical saw? Because that one's a bit out.
I actually worked for a family friend where I grew up, and his dad was a professional musical saw player, and they actually made it in their shop, and I worked in that shop as a part-time job. So that's how I picked it up. You guys are getting some stuff here that very few people know. Even my family doesn't know this. So good research, excellent research.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, just one more thing, because I'm a percussionist myself. Is it true you also played percussion?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, I played percussion.
Oh, geez. no judging here. Just I always come from my throne of percussion is better than everything else. It's just an ego that has to happen. And what made you switch from percussion and musical saw to choir?
Well, it was quite a dramatic event. People do not really understand the nuances of the fine instrument called the triangle. And it's difficult to play the triangle, striking it the right way and at the right time. And I was it was a concert, it was that 7th and 8th grade concert final at the end of the year. And the conductor gave me a solo with my triangle. So seriously, I had a rest, right? One rest, and then I was it. I was the guy, the triangle. Uh-huh. And I got nervous. And for some reason, the triangle fell onto the ground during my solo. And so they said to me, Tim, maybe you should go into choir next year. So that's where I made the jump. So very traumatic, though, to drop a triangle during your solo. So, but
absolutely
true story.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a great instrument, though.
During college, or else I'm gonna have to just switch my major. That's fantastic. All right. Well, we'll wrap things up a little bit here, but what I'm sure everyone wants to know, what's your retirement plan? What are you gonna do next?
Well, I get to do a little more fishing and do a little bit more golfing. I love to read, so I can't wait to jump into books and get back at a kind of a steady pace with that. And I have 3 kids, two girls and a boy. And the girls one's out of college, one is going to be leaving college. She plays she sings in a jazz band downtown, so I'll be able to go down and see her a little bit more. And then my son is going to be a sophomore in high school. I'll be able to get to a lot of his things that I've missed over the years. So I'm excited about that. And then we'll see what comes my way, or maybe I'll get a band going, a garage band. I like Bob Dylan, I like Gordon Lightfoot, all those great guys that you don't know. But maybe I'll get the band back together. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. You can make a comeback on the triangle.
You have options there, so that's
awesome. Right. I got skills.
All right.
Thank you.
One last thing. What we usually do at the end of our interviews is kind of just you can have one-on-one with the audience right now, usually the band kids. So if there's anything you want to say directly to the band or even the students at Schaumburg, what do you got to say?
Oh, very kind. What a great run. I've loved every minute of it. And I share with our faculty all the time that the power and the juice in this building really comes in our front door every morning at 7:30. It's really you guys, it's the students at Schaumburg that make this place run, make it all possible. All the energy that faculty and staff have really comes from you. So really, thanks for 13 awesome years here of high energy. We have, I think, the greatest school in the world. I'm obviously a little biased, but you guys are awesome. And to the bandos, there's not a better band in the state of Illinois or the Midwest. And I know Mr. Inandino, Mr. Graffio, I've said that to them multiple times, but we are second to no one. We have the best band in the land, I'll tell you. But thanks for having me on. I really appreciate you guys inviting me on your podcast.
We've enjoyed having you for sure. Thank you so much.
Good luck to you, and we'll see you at the virtual graduation.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Or at the parade. Don't forget about the parade.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
All right, good. All right. See you guys. Right.
Thank you
so much. Have a good one, Mr.
Stay good.
Bye-bye. I'm going to just look out my window. There's 2 kids in winter jackets playing a water gun fight. I don't know what I'm looking at. Anyways, on that note, we're gonna end this off. Have a good one, guys. See you in the next one.
Have a good one. Thank you.